As a newcomer to Los Angeles, I've immersed myself in the city's culture, really trying to understand who's shaping it and who's connecting with the people. And that's when I came across Jerry Garcia, a stand up comedian with a hilarious HBO special, millions of views online, and a voice that feels instantly familiar. Jerry built his career by doing something simple but powerful, telling the truth about his life, his family, his kids, his upbringing, his culture, and somehow in all that specific storytelling, he's created something universal. In this conversation, we go beyond the jokes. We talk about what it really takes to build a career in comedy, from bombing on stage to finding your voice, and why authenticity isn't just a creative choice, it's survival. Jerry opens up about fatherhood, mental health, the balance between public success and private life, and how Latino culture continues to shape both his work and his perspective. This is Grayscale LA. If you enjoy this conversation, please remember to drop a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Jerry G, my bro,
Alex.
thank you for coming through, bro.
Thanks for having me, big dog.
So listen, man, I'm as you know, I'm from Toronto originally. I was telling you before we started rolling. And when I got to LA, I'm, immersed in the scene. I want to know who the players are. I'm trying to get to know who the comedians are. And I came across your stuff, bro, and I'm like, this guy's hilarious. I watched your HBO special.
Appreciate it, big dog. Appreciate
Man,
it.
and bro, I think your style of comedy really hits, at least for me, and I think probably for a lot of Latinos, because it's like observational kind of humor where it's very relatable.
Yeah.
Anyone that grows up in a Latino home, you're like, oh yeah, that's like my pops, that's like my mom's, you know what I mean? Where did that come from? Like, I mean, obviously you grew up and you infused that into your craft.
Yeah, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, that's what makes me obviously connect with other comedians, such as George Lopez when I first started. George Lopez, who inspired me to be a comic,
right,
as a young kid, dog. And so watching him just talk about his family life, his everyday life, I think that's what just inspired me to want to do the same, as far as, because that's what's real. That's what made me laugh more than anything. Him talking about his tias and his grandma. And I was like, yeah, that's what it's about, man. And as much, I wanted to be a comedian since I was a little kid too. So as a comic, I realized like the first thing you learn is like you have to be yourself, fool. You can't fake it up there, fool. You're on stage by yourself, alone with a mic. People are gonna catch on real quick if it's what's this guy doing? What is he talking about? Even if it's a dumb made up story, as long as it's coming from a real place, genuine place. And that's why I want to be just as genuine as possible. I only talk about what I know. And like, I don't talk about politics because I don't want to get canceled or nothing, porque I don't know about Catholics, politics, fool. So I only talk about what I know, fool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I stick to that. That's my lane, bro. I know my kids. I know my family. I know my neighborhood. I know my, community. That's what I know, dog. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And so that's why it becomes relatable. And it might not, and as you grow in comedy, you also start to realize how you want to expand yourself and have a bigger reach with a bigger audience. So obviously you start talking about just everyday life, right? Everyday life, that no matter what your background is, whether you're Latino, Black, white, Asian, doesn't matter. We all have that crazy parent, those crazy kids that drive you nuts. We all have that. So it doesn't matter where you're from. So as much as I love to relate to my Latino people, I also want to make sure that everyone's laughing, fool. Everybody, no matter where you're from.
I noticed with your comedy, and a lot of comedians take this approach where it's introspective and you use what's around you. Your family obviously is a big part of your jokes, right? How does your family feel? How do your sons?
They're super proud, dog. It's a trip because we have these conversations at home, dog, right? Like my HBO special, that's a long time ago already, over like 5-6 years ago. My kids were a lot younger. They're 18 now, dog. At the time, they were 10, 11, 12 when I was doing that set and trying out that set and figuring it out that set before getting filmed. But my kids are 10, 11, and they're just so proud, fool. Kids are kids, dog. They're proud. They just me mentioning them is amazing to them, dog. But obviously, I was talking about some real stuff, dog. I was talking about them having a stepfather and my relationship with their stepfather and so forth and so on. So I will talk about that. And because all that stuff came from real feelings, like as far as like the stepfather situation was like, for those of you who don't know, I'll talk about my kid's stepdad, right? And so I think the approach was like, why are you getting mad? This guy's here to help out. This guy's here to, let's work together and so forth and so on. Have him buy me things as well and have him take me places also. And so that's where my joke came from. And my kids were like, I told my kids this, man, and I'm like, and they just laugh, and they're like, Dad, that's funny, and they're 10, 5th grade, 4th grade, little kids, elementary, and they're just like, Dad, that's funny, Dad, that's funny. It's not true, but it's funny.
Right.
As far as me hanging out with the stepdad, because I wouldn't hang out with the stepdad. But for them, it was like, man, that's just funny that I think how you're approaching his dad. And they all like it, man. Like, again, I talk about baby mamas. I have one baby mama, and I have my girl. I talk about baby mama, and I also had the conversation with her. Like, hey, dude, I mentioned you on my material, on my set. She's like, as long as it's not disrespectful, it's all good, And which is obviously that's the only thing that we do be careful about, not to disrespect her, turn everything into a funny situation.
I mean, I've even been listening to your podcast. Your podcast is dope too, man.
Thanks, man.
I really like it.
It's not my weekend podcast.
Yeah, it's a great podcast. I listened to your latest episode. I've also listened to a couple like older episodes, and I realized that even like there's an episode, I think it's like an older one, maybe from 2024, where you're talking about your son and his relationship with his girlfriend.
Oh yeah. That was about a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Far ago.
And I'm just like, it's so family driven, like that. You're talking about your son's girlfriend, his dad, and I think to myself, like, what if they hear this podcast? You're not saying anything bad, but if they hear it, like,
when I bring that up, I do talk with the intention of them listening to this one day somehow, maybe. So I am careful, I am cautious, but I'm also being real, which is why I'm telling you, like, I'm not lying, I'm not making up stories, especially my podcast. My podcast is like my vlog, bro. Like, it's like literally.
I love it because you're real, bro.
Yeah, I'm bad. It's coming out of my. None of it's pre-planned.
Yeah.
It's just stuff that's in my head that's maybe bugging me, or something I just experienced a few hours ago, or last night, or day before. And so I bring that out sometimes. And yeah, I really, with my podcast, I've always been like that, as genuine as I can. Once again, it's just easier for me to talk about stuff that I know that I'm living, because instead of making up stories where you're gonna get, if you're making up a story, if you're lying, you're gonna get stuck, fool. It's like anything. Like, it's like you're writing a story before you're gonna get stuck. But when you're talking about real shit, real stuff, it's gonna come out how it's supposed to come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. So when I talk about like things like that, again, my kids listen to it. The thing is, with my kids now, they're older now. They're 18 and 17, and so it's not that I don't know if they're listening specifically, but their friends are. So I got a lot of their friends who are like big followers of mine, and they're the ones telling my kids like, "Fool, sure heard your dad, dog. He's talking about you and your chick and this and that." And he'll give me like, "Hey, what's going on over there? What you say? What you say?" And I go, "Dude, I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying, let me know. Correct me if I'm lying, because I'm not. I'm just talking about how I feel about this situation. We talk it out.
Right.
But they're kids. They get in their feelings sometimes, Because I don't know which kid you heard about, but I was like, oh yeah, you're probably talking about So I got one kid who's in a very serious relationship since the 9th grade, dog.
Yeah.
And he graduated high school already. He's in college, fool, and they're still together, fool.
Oh, they're still together?
They're still together,
Crazy.
dog. And so it's one of those things where I'm like, how is this even possible? It's mandilon, right? Mexico's mandilon. But you kind of also like that for him. There's consistency, right, fool? So, because I have this other son who's had several girlfriends, and he goes all in with these girls, and they break his heart, fool, like over and over. He gets all emo, depressed, doesn't want to eat. But then he'll get over it after a couple weeks or months, depending on the girl, and he's back at it again. And so, as a parent, what would you rather have? Somebody who's just there with the same person all the time, not really experiencing more of life. He's just with one girl, or this other kid who is experiencing life and keeps getting his heart broken and stuff like that. You're seeing him cry, and so it's like it's a balance. Fool, it's like pick your evil, fool, pick your poison, almost kind of situation.
Yeah, it's interesting too, man. I was telling you too. I have a son. My son's 10 months old.
Yeah.
He's not even close to that dating stage, but when he does get there, I'm gonna remember this conversation. I'll be like, man, I wonder what's better for a teenager, like them staying, like being the high school sweetheart that stays long term and gets married and does that whole thing, and then maybe later in life there's problems because they didn't get to experience more, or they go through lots of heartbreak and they figure it out. I think more people go through that route.
Yeah, that's what I went through. I got cheated on, stomped on, lied to as a kid, and that's what happens when you're a kid, dog. Girls, one day a girl loves you, and then the next day she loves the next guy, your homie, and so it'd be like that, dog. So I went through a lot of that, so I kind of understand my son a little bit, the one that gets heartbroken. Now, I wasn't as emo as he was. I mean, this guy locks himself in the room where you don't see him for days, and I wasn't that guy. I was the other way. I was like, go outside with my friends and go mess around and see what just trying to get my mind, focused somewhere else. But yeah, it's crazy, bro.
So I was reading about you, and you're half Mexicano, half Salvadoreño.
Yes,
Is that
yes,
right? Who's
yeah.
who? Your mom is.
My mom is Selby, who's not with us anymore, passed away.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, and my dad's Mexican.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how was it like growing up in that household, bro? Like, both very Latino cultures, but also nuances, differences.
Yeah, I didn't see much of a difference, man. I mean, obviously there's a lot of similarities between Salvies and Mexicans, dog. Mad love for both, same traditional values, you know what I'm saying? Catholics, great food at home, no matter what. My mom learned to cook a lot of Mexican food from my tias, who I were around, my dad's sisters and brothers. And so we have a big family on both sides. So we just kind of, it all just like blended together into one. I never really saw the difference between both, man. Obviously, just maybe the language, just the words. But other than that, dude, like it was always a beautiful. We all got along. Everyone respected each other. I never saw any friction or like who's better than that. We all respected each other's like traditions and values, and I think that was a beautiful thing. Huntington Park is a lot like that. That's where I'm from, Huntington Park. There's a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Salvadorians, and so we all kind of live together. We come together there, and I think that's helped too. That there's so many of both cultures there in one place.
I love that, man. I've had different people come through for conversations, and I hear different things. Maybe it's different parts of LA, but I'm Salvadoreño, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of my pupusas and all my culture, right? But as I meet Mexicanos and other Salvadoreños that I've had come through to talk, it almost seems like at a certain point there was maybe more friction and more division between Salvadoreños and Mexicanos.
It seemed like that it was more like a mid-city Wilshire area, more like the downtown area. I think there was like, I don't know what was happening there, like Pico Unions type of stuff. But I'm from Huntington Park, I remember, first of all, there's more Mexicans in Huntington Park. So I think they were just more like, and there were Salvadorians as well. But it was just, for me, I just never saw the friction. I never really did, dude. I never saw the difference. We were all neighbors, we're all homies, everybody was cool. Maybe because there was less Salvadorianos. Maybe and then just Mexicans were just like more inviting, like, yeah, I can like come, but maybe because of that, and then that just kind of turned into a mixture of, I don't know, dude. Like I never saw the friction. I never noticed it.
Well, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. That's amazing, man. I mean, when you look at yourself, I mean, you're Latino, but do you carry both parts of the culture forward in your life?
I do. I try to, man, as much as I can, dude. To be honest, I've always been a little bit more closer side to the Mexican side. There's just a little bigger family who've impacted me a little bit more. My mom's side has been a little bit smaller family. So, but for the love of my mom and that side, I've always like respected. I just respect both sides always and make sure that they're both being represented wherever I'm at.
Yeah,
for sure.
Pupusas or tacos?
I'm a tacos guy, to be honest with you. Full street tacos specifically, dog. I'm a huge street tacos. Pupusas are dope. They just take forever to make. I do love plátano frito. That's my favorite shit, dog. I'm not gonna eat that for breakfast every day, dog. Plátano frito. Pupusas are dope. Revueltas, of course. And also I have when I can't eat cheese.
Lactose intolerant.
I'm lactose and shit, dog. So pupusas like have a lot of cheese sometimes, fool, and I can't, dog. Like that's why I don't eat quesadillas and I don't eat pupusas, but carne and pollo, I'm all for it, dog.
Dope, bro. Yeah. What would you say is your go-to taco spot out here?
No, I go to obviously Huntington Park. Now I just moved to Azusa, bought a house in Azusa, but I'm born and raised in Huntington Park. And to be honest with you, fool, I'm gonna be dead ass, dog. I go to a lot of street tacos places, and I don't know their names. I just know what the street they're on, and so I'll just go to different spots, and I just try everywhere I go, fool. Like street tacos, restaurants as well. Of course, you got your Gavilan, you got your King Taco, you got your, Alberto's. You got all the taco spots, of course, as well. But I like to just pull over at a random taco spot and try it, and whatever it's gonna be good or not, I'm gonna come back. I don't always know the name of it, but like HP itself has like 12 that are really good, and most of them are really good. Not all of them. Most of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
I find myself that I enjoy Tijuana tacos. The style Tijuana tacos the most, which are the bigger with the guacamole and the salsa, and they just go all and Tijuana tacos. Fool.
Yeah, bro. That's one thing I love about LA, man. Like there's tacos everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you said, you could stop anywhere and there's tacos. Are you more of a taco stand guy, taco truck, or taco restaurant?
Taco stand. All day, food, street tacos. Yeah, I don't really always trust the taco truck. You know, I don't like to see what's going on in there. You know what I'm saying? Now, the stand is obviously the stand. It's right in your face. You're having a conversation with them. You're asking them, hey, what is eso? ¿Eso de qué es? ¿Eso cómo está? Y me deja probar esto. And it's just right there in your face. You see the salsas coming out. You see all the condiments out there. With a taco truck, you kind of have to trust that they're doing their job in there. You know what I'm saying? That they're washing their hands and so forth and so on. But I just like the taco stand for sure. Restaurants, there's a lot of good ones. I found one at Carbon Taqueria in La Susa is awesome. Tacos Cholos is awesome. Guisados is awesome. Food. There's like a lot of good taco restaurants. But man, the convenience for me, I'm always driving, bro. So I just see a taco stand coming up. I see the light bulbs up ahead, bro. I pull over, man, and check it out. Now, a lot of times they're not that good, bro. I'm not trying to like glaze them off, fool, because there's a lot of misses out there. But again, that's just my taste. Maybe someone else likes it that I don't like. So try them out, fool. Try them out. Now there's pupusas too on the streets too, dog. But again, once again with the pupusas, fool, not everybody makes good pupusas, dog. First of all. Second of all, they take forever, dog. So, but that's because the longer they take, the better they usually they taste.
That's true.
So if you get a rush pupusa, that's not a good thing either, dog. Right? Because rush pupusas, they come out hard, stale. You know?
Too much masa.
Mucha masa, güey. Le cortan. So the key to a good taco and pupusa is a lot of protein, dog. So whatever, like chicharrón in the pupusa, carne in la pupusa, whatever you put in the pupusa, you want to put a lot of protein. Same with the tacos, fool. Do not cut back, and that's what makes people come back, fool. The protein, whatever you're putting in, make sure you get a lot of it, dog.
For pupusas, are you the same? Are you more of a like, you rather go to a stand?
Or? Nah, I rarely go to stands. First of all, you don't see that many. Mm-hmm. You don't see that many. And to be honest with you, I see a pupusa stand and I'm just like, fool, I'm going to be standing there for a while, fool. I don't think I want to commit to that right now. I'm hungry. Usually it's because I'm hungry, fool. Like, I don't want to. So, but what I do is I order I phone in on restaurants, pupuserias. So HP has a good Flor de la Lampa or Limpa, Flor de something. Is one over there in HP that I go to a lot. Call ahead, bro. Call ahead. And then they take 10, 15 minutes, fool. So, you know, give them a call, heads up. I need 4, 6, whatever. Go get them. And that's the game. That's how you do it.
I'm going to have to hit that one up. I'm going to try that one.
I'll tell you. I'll look it up right now.
I noticed the kicks, bro. I've been watching your shoe game, bro.
Yeah.
Sick Jordans every time. Like, you're rocking the 5s.
Thank you, brother.
What's up with the shoes, bro? How much are you spending on shoes?
Man, not as much as I used to, dog. I used to spend a lot. I had a problem a few years ago, dog. I've tapered off. Bro. But I used to be a hardcore shoe head, fool. Now I've just got so many that I've had to stop, fool. I haven't bought a pair of shoes actually in 2026, dog. I don't think I bought a pair of shoes yet. So I do have a lot, fool. I take care of them. That's my other hack, fool. Just take care of your shoes, dude. Yeah. Like, these are, you can start to see a little dirt here. But I've had these for a couple of years now, dog. 2-3 years, fool. So don't wear them out too often. Rotate them as much as you can, fool. I was a big ones. I love ones, dog. The highs, of course. But I kind of got over it after a while. I feel like I got like every color you can imagine. And then after a while, I started buying some. I wasn't even wearing them. So then I moved over to 3s and 4s and now 5s. I love 5s, but 5s are so goddamn heavy, dog.
Right.
You know, I can only wear them for short periods of time. I gotta be sitting down and stuff. But I love 5s are like my favorite, dog.
They look dope,
bro. I
stepped
on here already. Damn it. That was you, Alex.
How many pairs are you at in the collection?
You know what? No contado. I've never counted it, dog. But I do have probably close to 100. But I also, again, I have teenage boys.
I was gonna ask,
are they take my shit? You know,
they're rocking your kicks.
Yeah, but see, I'm gonna say it's 8.5. One of my kids is a 9, and the other one's an 8, dog. So they both be, you know, taking them one way or another, and that's fine. And then I also give them away to my dad. My dad, the old when they're beat up and stepped up. I wouldn't give them these 5s and stuff, but any other like ones, you know, I give them ones or any shoes, just Air Maxes. I give them a lot of Air Maxes. I like Air Maxes too, dog. As you get older, full comfort becomes a big deal.
That's true, man.
So I'm buying a lot of Air Maxes now, and then when I get those there, they give them to my dad, and my dad likes the Air Maxes. He goes, siempre dame con que tenga el aire, con the little air bubbles.
Yeah. That's dope.
But yeah, shoes are dope, fool. Just as you get older, I'm 45 now, dog. As you get older, it starts to become less and less of a priority, fool. You know what I mean? When I was in my 30s, dog, I need a pair of shoes for each one of my fits, dog. and I was buying a lot for a lot. And then I just realized I started giving a lot away, or selling them on OfferUp, or just not wearing them. And so as you get older, you're like, you know what? Let's chill on this. I got enough pairs, fool. Let's wear these out first. And of course, if I see a good deal or a shoe I have to have, I'll get it, fool. But I try not to, like, I took up the notifications on my Nike app, fool. Like, turn that off. My sneaker app, turn that off. And go from there, dog.
Bro, every time I watch one of your specials or even clips on, I'm like, this guy always has new kicks on.
Yeah, for stage shoes. Stage shoes is a big deal for me, dog. Stage shoes is for sure.
Speaking of your specials, man, I mean, we talked about the HBO, and you've had so many specials since, and I keep seeing more clips surfacing online. But when I watch your comedy, I'm like, man, this guy's been doing it for a long time. You're like a veteran in the game now, bro. Like you just said, you're 45. When did you start? How old were you when you started?
At 29. Started 2009, bro. So I'm gonna be 17 years old this year, actually, in comedy, fool. So, see, not that way. Long time, fool. I started when I was 29. My kids were young, fool. They're babies. My older ones were babies. I was going through like a little bit of a midlife crisis. I was about to turn 30. I just had my second born, fool. And fool, I just felt like, a bit of a loser. Like, bro, I got 2 kids. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I didn't pursue the dreams that I wanted to pursue.
What were those dreams?
Comedian,
like before comedy?
I wanted to be a comedian since I was like in, to be honest with you, middle schools when when I discovered what stand-up comedy was with Eddie Murphy. And you didn't see a lot of Latinos there. We heard about Paul Rodriguez, but you didn't really see Paul Rodriguez. You just saw his movies. He was the movies. But not till George Lopez. I was in high school. George Lopez, 1996, dog. Right Now, or Alien Nation, his first early on specials. So when I saw George Lopez, I said, holy shit, dog. This guy's amazing, bro. He's brown, he's dark, he's sweaty. He's just like me, fool. Like, he looks just like ta prieto, ta feo. He looks just like me, dog. And I just felt so proud that there was a brown person on TV being so goddamn funny, dude. And he wasn't really on TV that much, fool. I would just, I heard about him from my sister. My sister told me, I have an older sister. She was dating a police officer. And she's like, hey, dude, I'm going to go to a comedy club in Pasadena, Ice House. I was like 17, so I was still a senior. I was senior in high school still. And I'm like, I'm going to go see this comedian. His name is George Lopez. So it was 1996, dog. And she's like, I don't know who that is. She's like, yeah, no, I thought you would know. You like comedy. I'm like, yeah, I don't know who that is. She's like, I just told her date. Like, I told my date that you want to be a comedian and he's inviting you to come out with us. And, he was trying to impress my sister. I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, I'm down. Hell yeah, I'm down. Dude, again, I'm in high school. It's a school night. It's like a Thursday night. And then it's like, we went to the Ice House, Pasadena. And I got to see George Lopez for the first time in person. And it's sold out. Crazy, amazing. The War song comes out. He's going up there. He's up there on stage for like 2.5 hours, dude. Wow. Just ripping and just being so hilarious. And that just changed my life, bro. I'm like, this is what I need to do. This is what I want to do. I want that feeling that he's having up on that stage. And so, but yet I was 17 at the time. I graduated high school. But once you graduate high school, reality sets in, right? Get college, what are you gonna do with your life? Get a job, get this, you're partying, you're having a good time, So I'm doing everything but what I actually wanted to do. So I'm having a bunch of jobs here and there, And so I started, I have a girlfriend, I get married, start having kids, and that's when it hits me like, bro, I'm gonna be 30 and I never pursued my dreams. Like, I want to be a comedian and this and tried it out. Went to open mics in North Hollywood, Haha Comedy Club, and the rest is history, dude. I just started going there. Didn't do very well at the beginning. I was horrible in the beginning, but I just kept going at it, kept coming back. I started realizing the mistakes that I was making. And some of those is that you got to write your material, you got to write your jokes, you got to be prepared, you got to be original. And that's where, because in the beginning, you're going up there, F this, F that, bitches ain't this, and bitches that, and then sex this, and sex that, and this, that. You're all talking about whatever nonsense you could, just trying to get people's reactions and attention. And so, and then comments were like, hey, you don't have to be so dirty, bro. Like, you don't have to say so many bad words. You don't have to describe sex so much. And relax, bro. Just, have fun. Just write some real stuff. What's really impacting you right now? What's going on in your life and this and that. well, I'm married, or well, I have a baby, and we'll talk about that. Talk about your baby. Talk about your kids, and
who is this that was giving you this
different
advice?
different
Okay.
comics. You're like in circle. You're like in a
Mm.
circle, and I'll start getting feedback. Like I get off stage, and it wouldn't be so good. It wouldn't go so good, and it's just comics at the bar, at the comedy club. Just like we get friends, and some guys are more inviting than others,
Right.
and they're just giving you advice like, "Hey, good job, kid. Keep it up, man. Just you ain't gotta be so dirty, man." Or at the time, you're also being kind of what's called a hack, where you're doing a lot of routines that other comics have kind of already touched on and done.
Right.
So you're like, bro, there's already a comic that does stuff like what you're talking about. There's another comedian who does the same joke like that. Don't do that. And I'm like, you're right. Write about yourself, man. Write about your own life. Write about what you're living through. And that's when I'm like, okay. And then that's when I start to kind of like figure it out. And
Yeah.
it takes a long time. It's a long process. But if you really want to do this, bro, it's the most satisfying thing you can do, bro.
That's great, man. Was there one comedian or comic throughout your career? It sounds like you got some good advice that gave you advice that really stuck with you.
There were several, to be honest with you, dude. I mean, I picked a lot of people's brains, man, always. And shit, man, I want to say like Willie Barcena was one, Jeff Garcia, Steve Trevino. These are comics who were veterans back then and are still doing their thing now. And it's just a bunch of just comrades, like comics who were also coming up like me, young comics who are also trying to figure it out. And we're all just trying to come up together, like Jesus Sepulveda, Christian Zaragoza. There's just guys who like you come up with and you all just learn from each other's mistakes and learn from each other and just feed off each other,
So I'm assuming that's the best piece of advice you got is really authenticity. Like,
Yeah.
stick more to your story than trying to do other things.
Correct.
Is that the best advice?
It is, because at the end of the day, that's also the easiest route, bro. To be honest with you, to be just yourself. You can't be somebody else. You can't fake it up. And I watch other comics too. I'm realizing, look, dude, that's not him. That's not what he is until he figures that portion of his set. Such as like, oh, I went out with this girl. Oh, I was having sex with this other girl. Oh, I was doing this. Oh, I was doing that. And then you're like, bro, you're not, fool. Like, relax, dog. Like, let's talk about what's real here.
Let's talk about like some of your early stages. You mentioned when you were terrible, when you're starting. That's like everybody in life. When you start something, you're not the best at it. But I've never done stand-up comedy, but I can only imagine what it feels like to bomb on stage. Must be a terrible, terrible feeling, bro. Like vulnerable and like, how do you even overcome that?
Bombing sucks, but when I would bomb, I would be mad at myself. I would only blame myself, dog, because when you go up on stage, you have an opportunity to do something great, right? And a lot of people they'll blame the audience. Oh, the audience sucks. They're not paying attention. They were too loud. They were too drunk. Oh, they're not for me. They're too white. They're too black. They don't. Nah, bro. It's never the audience's fault. First of all. So anytime I would bomb on stage, it would suck. It would hurt. Man, it would hurt. Pero at the end of the day, I would just check myself and be like, dude, this is my fault. I was not prepared. I should not have said that joke. That joke was not ready, or that joke was not for this audience. It was always on me, fool. And if you could that's one way to kind of, again, that's one way that I approached it, and it worked for me, dog. It worked for me where like, I remember just driving home and just so upset, like, why would you do that? Why would you say that? That was stupid. That's a dumb joke. That doesn't work. And the whole time I'm trying to figure, and that's the whole point about bombing. The whole point about bombing is you figure out and correct it. So what happens, a lot of these guys, they go up and they're bombing again and again and again because they make the same mistakes over and over and over, fool. So it becomes almost insanity, right? When you do the same thing over and over, it becomes insanity. That's why you keep bombing, fool. The only way to stop bombing is to learn from the mistakes. What caused you to not do good that day? And still today, Alex, like there's days today, 2026, where I'll still go up at a show and I don't do good. Man, but I have to realize why. So now that's the difference now, the 16, 17-year-old veteran, I know what happened. Oh, this is what happened, fool. Like, oh, I said this wrong. Oh, I rushed the punchline. Oh, I rushed the setup. Oh, it's not funny. It's just not funny. Check that off. That's just not a good joke.
But
figure it out.
How do you handle it in the moment? Because in the moment, you still have to rescue the show, right? So how do you handle it in the moment? If you're like bombing with all the years of experience that you have, or let's not call it bombing. Let's say you say a joke and it doesn't no pega, right? How do you start to fix that situation? Or do you just...
Yeah, the cheat code for me now is that, again, I have so much material, like 16 years of material, jokes that are in my back pocket that I don't do anymore, but they're always there. They're always there. If I need one, boom. And also as a veteran, you start to, you know how to roll with the punches. You know how to take a step back, take a deep breath, and then maybe just interact with the audience, reset the batteries. Hey, that didn't work. That's anyways. So where are you from? Or what's going on? Hey, so what's going on? Or like whatever. Like, why are you here? What brings you out here tonight? And kind of that just resets the room again. Bring them up again. Have a little conversation as you're figuring out what next joke to try. Now, someone like myself or any other veteran, again, like I said, we have material ready to go, dog. We have boom, boom, boom. We have bullets in our chamber, dog, at all times. But a younger comic is not gonna have that. So a younger comic, you just have to roll with the punches, fool, and just eat it, bro. At the end of the day, just eat it and just survive. And you survive by a little bit of crowd work, just to make yourself a little bit more relatable and bring yourself down to the level of the audience a little bit more when it's not working out as a young comic. I would suggest that. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go attack and just degrade the audience. It's not about that. It's just more of like, it's just kind of like a reset, right?
Right.
Shit, that didn't work, man. So anyways, so how was your day today, man? It's one of those situations, right? Not like, hey, look at this fucking dumbass's shirt right here. Oh, fuck, that one looks like an idiot. Not that type of reset. It's more of a reset. It's just like kind of check yourself as you're trying to figure out what you're gonna do next, right? So once you figure out next, then you go back, you put yourself back in your place. And the only way is, if you're bombing, fool, is just, again, just embrace it, get through it, survive it, finish your time, whatever time they gave you to do, because we all get a certain amount of time on the stage. Finish the time, respect the time, finish your time, and then just start spitballing ideas while you're up there. Might as well. It's not anything, nothing else was working already. Spitballing done. I still do that today.
Right.
Like, I'll do a joke that doesn't work. All right, let's try this other one that may not work. And I just try it out too. Might as well, that didn't work. All right, let's try this one now that didn't work. And and then eventually I just dig myself out of that hole with saying actually some funny material,
Have you ever had to, like, it just wasn't going good and you haven't been able to finish your time?
Man, yeah, I think it's happened it's happened actually not that long ago. Maybe a couple of years ago, 2024 or so. I was in San Diego. We did like this, like it was like a nightclub, man. And I was a headliner, but the guys before me, there was Concrete was one of them where people got super excited to see him. And then there was and then this other guy went up there and started doing like it starts bringing the people on stage. And one of those people was actually like a little person. And so they're doing like these, they're like doing shots on stage with the little person off his chest. And it just became like a big old, like freaking, like a frat party, fool. And everyone's just going wild and just the people are going crazy. Again, they're doing their thing for the people that are all up, the people are having a good time. Then I go up and then I'm just like, all right, everyone just chill, just please listen to my jokes, kind of shit. Like, all right, guys, how's everybody? And, they get excited for the first few minutes, but they want all the riot shit that was going on earlier. They want people get brought up on stage.
It's hard to settle it back down.
Yeah, it was hard to settle them down, and it was a nightclub situation. So it's like a nightclub. There's a DJ. It's dark. There's people standing. There's like the loudest bar. And I had a really hard time. I was supposed to do 45 minutes. I think I gave them maybe 30, dog, maybe. And I said, I'm sorry, man. Like, people just were not paying attention. They were just kind of like over it. And they were just like sending me shots, and they wanted to come up on stage and give me the shot. And I was like, no, I'm just trying to get through these jokes, I was trying to get through this material. And I felt very cheap of myself. I didn't feel good because I got paid really well that night too. And so I felt I still got the money. I still took the money. But it wasn't a good feeling, dog. It wasn't a good feeling that I wasn't able to come through and do my job correctly, dog,
Yeah.
And I was hired to do 45 minutes. The owners understood. They saw the chaos that was going on, and it was a little crazy. There was very little crowd control. There was like no security. Like, no había nadie, anyway. So it was just like it was overcrowded. And so there was nobody. Again, I'm not blaming anybody. I still didn't get the job done. So it still happens again. It was 2 years ago, fool. Like, I'm already a veteran, dog. Like, I can navigate myself around it, but it got to a point where it was like, I can't, fool. Like, I don't.
Sometimes it's a tough, it's non-recoverable.
It's not. It wasn't.
Point, you know what I mean?
It wasn't recovered. People were just too drunk. Too drunk, and they're just ready to party, fool. They were ready to explode, and I was like, I'm just trying to tell you about my kids' school today, and that they weren't having it. Fool.
That's tough, bro. How on that note too, I mean, with crowd control and all these things that we're talking about, how do you handle a heckler?
Yeah, heckler again. Just it depends on the heckler, dog. There's respectful hecklers. There's there's cheerleader hecklers, or yeah, that's right, yeah, that's funny, yeah, tell them, yeah, I agree. There's that heckler, and there's like, oh, there's you suck, fool, that's fucking horrible. So there's different kinds of hecklers, and there's just hecklers who are just like on their phone or like just having conversations, being loud with the next person next to them.
Yeah.
There's different types of heckling or obstruction of the show. So I handle each differently. Obviously, if they're very negative, I have to have a conversation with them. We have to do something about it.
So you call them out in the moment.
I call them out to figure out whether I want him to stay in the show or not. So is this recoverable? Can we fix this? Whatever it is, why are you booing? Why are you so upset? Why are you not happy? If I could try and figure that out with him, and there's a conversation, obviously trying to make it funny, but I feel if he's just gonna escalate and become just a person who's not gonna get any better, then I would have to remove that person. I rarely ever do that. I don't maybe done it maybe once, twice in my career ever, if that. Most of the time it's just like, yeah, wait, chill, wait, cálmate, wait, I get it. Just sit there. You don't have to laugh, but just sit there, just
right.
Blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is. And then there's the other one, like the cheerleader, for like, all right, I get it, fool, biggest fan ever, fool, chill, I get you. I'm glad you're laughing, I'm glad you agree, but cálmale, wait, cálmale, like, it's just a conversation of how you're gonna communicate with people, dog. I rely on my jokes, fool. So my jokes is what's gonna shut people up, right, and just make them laugh only,
Yeah.
So that's what I rely on, and most of the time it works, dog.
Is the crowd work something that you're starting to do more of? Because I'm just finding more specials now where it's almost like all crowd work.
Yeah, you have it's part of it's what's in right now, fool, and I'm not gonna fight it. I'm gonna embrace it because people are being very successful doing it, and a lot of these people are very, very good at it.
Yeah,
a lot of my friends are really good at it.
Who are some of the best crowd work?
Renee Vaca, of course.
He's amazing.
Alfred Robles, killing it, fool. I mean, even Concrete gets down. Dunos, they do a lot of good crowd work, fool. So I don't really do crowd work, but I enjoy watching it. So that's why I can't hate on it, because I actually like watching crowd work. So it's like, dude,
it's almost like a different part of the brain. It's a different muscle, right?
Definitely, for sure. Different skill, different muscle. It's like in basketball, you're either a three-point shooter or you're like inside game, So, or baseball, you're a power hitter or a contact hitter. So I consider myself a contact hitter. I'm gonna, get the job done. It's gonna be consistent. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be right. So, and there's power hitters that just the long ball, boom, putazo, have having fun with people, messing with people. And so there's different types of comedy, bro. And I'm starting to do a little bit more of it. It's actually out of my comfort zone. Because when I came up in comedy, again, that wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
So when you came up in comedy, in fact, a lot of the better comedians at the time would tell us, bro, don't talk to the joke, don't talk to the audience. And you're talking to the audience because you run out of material. That's the only time you talk to the audience. You only talk to the audience when you're trying to survive.
Right.
When you don't have anything to talk about. When you don't have jokes. That's when you talk to the audience. That's how I came up.
That's funny how it's shifted, right?
So then I was afraid of like, oh yeah, don't talk to the audience, fool. Write your jokes. Now it's shifted.
Yeah.
Now it's shifted, fool. Because what happens is it's simple, fool. Everybody wants to be famous, dog. So people in the audience, they also want to have their 15 minutes, dog. So they also want to go viral. The people in the audience want to go viral. Check this out, fool. I was at the comedy show. They were picking on me, or I was having a conversation with of course. So that's what builds it, and that's what makes it even. That's what fuels it, dog. Everybody in the audience is trying to be part of the show. They're trying to be on camera as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So of course, dog. Of course. So
I think that's also the terrifying thing of doing anything on stage, whether you're a musician, comedian, any kind of performance. I think when we're talking about bombing, not doing well, hecklers, is that it's being documented. Someone somewhere is pulling out their phone.
Yep.
The greatest of the great, George Lopez, whoever, they've had moments that have been captured with hecklers and things, right?
So, or not doing well. Yeah.
Or not doing well. And that, but I think comedy, that's why it's such a beautiful and terrifying thing at the same time, bro.
Yeah, fool.
If you can master it.
And it's subjective too, fool, because what do you think? What I think I'm killing, I think I'm hilarious, and there's just 1, 2, 3 people out there that are like, no, this guy's horrible, fool. maybe like 98% of the people are laughing their ass off, and there's just 2% that are just like, this is the worst fucking comedy show I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Fool, like it's so subjective, fool.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
And also social media plays such a big role now where it didn't in the days where you were
Correct.
coming up too, right? Like I love the stuff that you and Concrete do together. I love some of your own stuff that you do. But like the Batman and Robin
Yeah.
thing bro, those things make me laugh so much,
Yeah,
bro.
it's so fun, bro, doing that stuff. And that was from the mind of Concrete, dog. That was funny, dude. Hilarious, dog. And
Tell me what it's like to work with Concrete, because I see you guys do a lot of collabs together.
Yeah.
So how did that partnership even start?
I just started with long time ago, man. Before the pandemic, that we're talking about like 2018 or so. We met through a mutual friend, through Chingo Bling. Chingo Bling introduced us together, brought us together. Like, hey, man, you guys should meet. This guy's funny. He's doing social media stuff. He's doing skits, and you do comedy. You guys should come together, just do collab. And so we met. We hung out. We had a good time. We chilled. And at that time, Concrete probably had like, I don't know, 50, 60,000 followers. And so he's like, yeah, man, let's link up. Let's do some stuff. Let's do some skits and this and that. Like, yeah, bro, I'm down. One thing led to another. We kind of never did. Then the pandemic happened. And then we linked up again during the pandemic. Like, yo, bro, like, are you working? I'm like, I'm not working right now. Let's do something again. But we never did. We always talked about doing something, but we never did. So eventually, Small World, Horchata with Oat Milk, this film came out.
I just saw it last night, bro. Yeah.
It was pretty fun. Dog. We shot that in 2021.
Wow.
Yeah, 2021. And so right after the pandemic, I remember we were all still wearing masks and stuff. And anyway, so we shot that 2021, and we all just got we all got the parts together, fool.
Casted.
We all got casted. Dunos, myself, and Concrete. We all got casted together, and that from there on we became.
See, these guys are cheering for you.
See that? They saw it too, dog. Once we got casted on this movie, dog, that's when we became friends. We were on the set for like 3 weeks, and that's where we just became the best of friends, dog. And we started vibing with each other, all three of us. And at that time, we were like, yo, man, this movie takes off or whatever, or let's tour. Let's do some comedy tours. Let's have some fun, and let's work. And then from then on, we got a little serious about working, and we did. We started doing a lot of skits that literally Concrete were like, yo, bro, let's do this Naked and Afraid. Yo, we're gonna do Batman and Robin. Yo, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. It's from his mind. He just calls me like, yo, let's do it. And we just get it done, and he's amazing, dude.
I love those, bro. I think that's the best way for comics to use social media, man, because now you have the audience at your fingertips, right? And you guys are delivering, right? So people are, I love that content too, man. It's great, man.
He's over 1 million followers now, dog. It's fucking amazing, dude.
That's great. And I see your followers climbing too.
Yeah. My followers, I'm not as consistent on social media as I should be. I am. Dude, with all that said, dude, like, man, I also kind of like my private life too, dog. For some reason, like, I don't know. I want the attention on me when it's time for it, such as on stage. Also, but social media, I enjoy it. It's fun. It is fun. It's fun doing it. Like, I'm very hard on myself, dog, with social media. Like, that's not funny. Let's try this. I don't know, dog. Like, I want it to be really impactful every time I do something.
Right. I think sometimes that perfectionist mentality prohibits us. Yeah. I'm the same way. But sometimes you just gotta drop stuff and just let it do what it's gonna do. Sometimes the things that you don't put effort into do so well.
Exactly, dog. Some of the shit that's gotten the most viral of mine are just half-ass shit that I'm like just sin querer queriendo.
Yeah, that's how it rolls, bro. That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, man. But I also wanted to talk to you about the film that you just brought up, Horchata with Oat Milk. I saw it last night as I was preparing for this interview. I paid for it, I'm supporting the cause, But I saw it and I was like, man, this is great, because it seems like it was a very Latino, Chicano, Mexicano kind of project, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like for a long time, Hollywood has kind of shut out the Latinos, even though
the numbers,
the numbers, and this was Mexico before it was even California. So it's like the history of Latinos and Mexicanos, and now all the immigrant Latinos that are coming here, the numbers are here. And I think it takes projects like that to get, to start breaking down the door in Hollywood.
That was the intention of that movie, fool. The intention of that movie was just kind of put us on a platform, and the intention was to sell it. Hopefully, somebody will buy it. No one did, but we still had a great time with it. That's why we shot in 2021. The editing was took forever because it was supposed to be like a full featured film. But some budget cuts or so forth and so on, it wasn't able to happen. With all that said, I think it was still good. It was 1 hour, So they kind of shifted over to kind of, let's make this into like maybe a pilot feature, short film, whatever. Like it's something we're trying to figure out what to do with it. But the whole point was to get us seen more. And a lot of people supported it. Like, just thank you, Alex. I appreciate it, bro. A lot of people did see it and continue to see it. I think it's just the start of something, bro. I mean, there was Clica later.
Yeah.
You know, there's other movies like This Fool with Frankie Quinones. There's just little by little, fool, the breadcrumbs are being put out there. There's no stopping us. I mean, people are waking up. People are seeing it, and there's a lot more. There's a comedy boom going on. There's a lot, like people like Ralph Barbosa, like obviously Fluffy keeps representing us very well. And it's just a matter of time, bro, before like something really just hits and runs from there. Fool, like you know.
Would you say that like I'm you know, especially from within the Latino comic scene, is there a lot of unity within? Like I know you've toured with Fluffy and you and Concrete, and like, would you say that there's a lot of unity?
It's getting a lot better. Fool, it wasn't like that before. It was a lot more territorial, a lot more gatekeeping. At least when I started, and when I started in 2009, and I heard that it was even worse. It was even worse before my time, early 2000s. It was worse. But it's gotten a lot better, fool. I like to think that I'm one of the people that have changed that and to the better. I help out as many comics as I can. They don't have to be Latino. It can be any comic. And I try to do my best. I try to give back as much as possible. I do feel like I have a lot of knowledge now. And I appreciate people hitting me up for advice. And I love to give out advice as much as I can. It's getting better, is what I'm trying to tell you, fool. We're realizing that we need each other and that we can't hate on each other, fool. And together, we're stronger, fool. It's obvious, dog. It's obvious. We've always said it. Now it's actually happening, fool. It's happening because the numbers are there. Social media tells you what people want. People love when they see collabs. People love the collabs. So continue that shit. The touring together. Look at Joy Coy and Gabriel Iglesias, the two biggest comedians there are. They're collabing.
Yeah.
They're coming together. It's not just about one person at a time. It's about touring. It's about showcasing each other and just working. And again, those who are hot right now are realizing that. They're realizing now. Rene Baca, Rob Barbosa, Alfred Robles, Concrete. You know, I'll throw myself in there. We're realizing it, fool. We're realizing it that it's better as a joint effort than isolation, fool.
What's the goal? I mean, I think back, you know, we're talking about the earlier pioneers like George Lopez, for instance. I think when guys like him started, the goal was, let me get a TV sitcom, right? That was the goal. Like, I'm going to do comedy, get a TV sitcom, and then I won. That's the goal. I feel like that goal has changed.
It has changed.
What's the goal now for a comedian like yourself?
Yeah, fortunately, man, that was the goal when I first started. I was like, I want to be on a sitcom by the time, 2015, 2020, like 5-10 years from now when I started. That goal has changed. I think it's still film though, fool. Like again, film is coming back again, and there's more opportunities for film. There's a lot of streaming, right? There's a lot of streaming, Hulus and Netflixes of the world. They're always looking for content. So maybe series is just a certain type of series now, bro, right? Maybe it's a short series. Maybe, I don't know, short films. There's still opportunity for that, dog. I think there always will be. But another big goal for us comedians is touring. Touring is huge for us now, fool. Touring is I've always been a big deal for us. But now, before it was just more like centralized through like maybe just the West Coast. So for now, we want to go national, fool. We want to go across all the country, all the way to Canada. I've been to Edmonton. I've been to Vancouver. I've never been to Toronto.
Oh, you got to go to Toronto, bro.
Man, I've always heard great things about Toronto, man.
Yeah.
But Edmonton was, but Vancouver's pretty too, dog. But but there's people out there, fool. Like there's a need for us out there, fool. So they're everywhere. What I'm trying to answer is that there's still goals for us to achieve, such as long-term tours, and there's still some streaming and then filmmaking, dog. I think filmmaking is still where it's at as well, fool. Filmmakers, again, it goes back to what we said earlier. We're on the radar now, bro, and the people are realizing that we sell a lot of tickets. And people will come out to see us, and so now more and more people are starting to lean towards us. Fool.
Yeah, I was doing some research on just other things in entertainment and media, and I was coming across like the buying power, the consumption power of Latinos in the U.S. And the numbers are so crazy, bro. Like the numbers are like so high that I also think like it's a market where if the content is there, it'll be supported too, right?
Yeah.
For for a Latino comic, I know that you cater to all
Yeah.
races, right? But for Latinos in general too, I mean, I think you're right. It's just a matter of time before like the floodgates open and
Yeah.
there's like more Hollywood presence, more representation from Latinos like for like yourself, like us, in those positions,
Yeah.
right? That being said, like when you look at what the goals are now for a comic, I think the goals really are to get like a Netflix special, right? Like or like a Hulu special or
Yes.
whatever it might be, right? Uh, is that something that you're working towards too? Like, is that something you would want, like a
Yeah,
Netflix
of course I would
special?
want that because obviously it brings you to a bigger stage. It opens up more doors. Yeah, I still want a Netflix special. I still want the Hulu specials. Yeah, gracias a Dios, I've got the HBO special.
Yeah, that's already huge, bro.
You know, and so it's there. And the next move is the Netflix special and stuff like that. But I've always just kind of said, I want to take my time. I want to do it right. When this opportunity comes, I want to have a fucking killer banger ass special. So I've never been like in a rush to go out there and try and get one. I think the opportunity will come. Si Dios quiere, it'll find me. And so I just want to be prepared for it right now. I just want to make sure I'm prepared. I have a full hour of just banging material and ready to go. And I think I'm there. I'm not saying I'm not there. I have it already, but it can always get polished and even better throughout the time, you know?
Yeah, of course. I think what as I talk to more comedians and comics in general, I noticed that like a lot of the work is also sometimes it's like therapeutic, right?
Mhm.
Where you're able to go back through your life, you pick out moments, and rather than it just sitting there as like trauma, sometimes you're able to use that as
Oh,
material,
hell yeah,
right?
dude.
Can you talk about that? And I mean, even the concept of like mental health and comedy, like you're talking about, sometimes I want to be known and seen when I'm on the stage, but when I'm not on the stage, I don't necessarily want. Like I've met so many people who are funny, but
Yeah.
when I talk to them one on one, they're not like that. It's like it's something
I
different.
think it's
a performance.
generational, dog. I think just being like how we grew up. You know, I'm a middle child, so I didn't always get the attention. I have older sisters and younger sisters, and so I'm a little younger brother. So I was like kind of in the middle, and so I never got that attention. I didn't really strive for it. I didn't really need it. I want to get the attention when I'm ready to get the attention. I'm like a cat. You know what I mean? Like I want attention when I'm ready for it. And so that's how I feel. Like I really do like my quiet time, my alone time, my family time. I really do enjoy that part of my life. I want to keep that hold on to that as much as possible. But of course, I love the fame. I love the attention. Of course, I love that shit. Of course, we're still little narcissists as well. Of course, but it's just the balance of it, dog. And because it's for the mental health, fool. Because también, güey, when you're trying to get so much, and when you're not getting it, that messes with your head too, dude. Like we don't get a certain part, or you don't get a certain show, or you don't get paid as much as you wanted to this time, or you don't get the call back. Man, those are heartbreakers, dude. So I lean on my family and my everyday life, just like get away, just to get away, dog. And I think mental health is so important, fool. Just don't take everything so serious. I really try to appreciate what I have. I was able to purchase a home because of comedy, be there for my kids, for my family, and just enjoy it, bro. Like I've got to see the whole country, some of the world, like, and I just you gotta remind yourself of the goodness in life, fool, so it doesn't break you down, fool, because mental health is very important to me. Mental health is very, very important to me, because I feel I'm very strong-minded, but then this kind of business takes a toll on you, bro. There's a lot of no's. There's a lot of no's in this business, dog, and it does take a toll, fool. But I just sweeping myself off and be like, hey, nah, man, it's all good. Gracias a Dios, still got my health. Still got my bills are being paid. Still got a gig next week. I'm good, fool.
That's beautiful, man. It's beautiful when you can make a living and take care of yourself and your family doing what you love, man. That's a beautiful thing.
It's hard to complain, dog.
Yeah. Let's end on a couple. I want to play 2 quick games with you. This one's called True, False, or Exaggerated. I'm going to give you a line, and you tell me, is it true, false, or exaggerated, and tell me why, okay? Every Latino family in LA has at least one uncle who thinks he could have gone pro in boxing.
Oh, yes, of course, dog. Yes, that's very true. It still happens today. And we all got that one squabber, loves to squabble and sucks to fight, ready to fight at any point, and swears he could have beat Julio Cesar Chavez, dog, for sure, dog. He's like, oh, man, I got to take him out. Yes, that is a fact, not exaggerated. That's a fact.
Okay, true, false, or exaggerated? LA traffic has ruined more relationships than cheating.
Nah, I think that's exaggerated, bro. Shit. OnlyFans has ruined more relationships than cheating for sure. First of all. Second of all, man, I've come to embrace LA traffic. I now embrace it. I appreciate it. I get to listen to my podcast. You know, I get to just have time to unwind, put on the hits, fool, chill. I'm not always in a rush to get home. I'm just like, I'm not in a rush to get to places at the time. I enjoy traffic, and it gives me some serenity, makes me miss people, right? So when I get to see my girl, I miss her because I was in 2 hours of traffic, and I'm happy to be here. Yes, that's for sure. False. We'll go false, fool.
Every mom thinks a stand-up comedy is not a real job.
Yeah. My mom just could not figure it out for a long time. She just every time when I was doing comedy in the beginning when I first started, I still had a day job until 2018. Dog, my first 9 years of comedy, I still had a day job, and so that's all my mom cared about. She didn't care about my show last night. She cared. ¿Fuiste a trabajar? ¿Fuiste a trabajar? No faltes de trabajar. Tienes que ir a trabajar. Because that's the real job. That's the moment maker. Go have your little bar shows fun over here. Go have your little fun over here, but make sure you go to work. My mom, make sure you go to work. And that's why I had a hard time quitting my day job because my mom wouldn't let me. My mom was like, no, mijo, tienes que seguir trabajando, tienes que, pagar la renta, y eso no va a pagar los biles. Tienes que seguir. And so I had a hard, even though I was doing really good in comedy, touring, making money, I still had a hard time letting go of my day job because I was afraid of my mom. My mom was more proud of me having a day job than actually doing stand-up.
That's funny, man. Finish the lines, okay? I'm gonna read you a line. You're gonna finish it.
All right.
You know you grew up in LA when?
When you talk like this. People always say like, fool, you sound like just everywhere in the country that I go to, there are people like, you from LA, huh, dog? How do you know, fool? It's just the way you talk, dog. Like, if you sound like this, you know you grew up in LA, dog.
You know your family is Latino when?
Oh my God. When there's always comida en la casa. Man, they never let us eat out, fool. My mom would never let us eat out, fool. There's always frijoles, queso, something in la casa. Vente a comer, there's always food at the house. I miss that, man. I miss that a lot, fool, because now there's never food at the house. I have a white girlfriend, and there's never food at the house.
You know someone is struggling. You know someone is a struggling comedian when?
Oh, fool. When they keep blowing you up to get you on their show, dog. Okay. They're always trying to, hit you up like, hey, we got a spot for me. You got a spot for me. Bro, I'm like, get your own spot, homie. Yeah, it's hard to talk shit about my boys, man. But yeah, you're also a struggling comedian like me when you still have a day job, unfortunately, bro. And I was a struggling comedian for like 9 years, still trying to figure it out and make it consistently. So I still have to get a day job. That's the real answer. The real answer is you're a struggling comedian when you still have a day job. When you quit your day job, that's when you made it.
You quit your day job at this point?
Yeah. I'm saying for the first 9 years, I had a day job. I quit my day job in 2019.
Wow.
Yeah. Right before the pandemic, dog.
That must have felt amazing, bro.
It was awesome,
you're
bro.
like, man, I'm out.
It was scary. Scary as shit.
Oh,
dog.
so you didn't quit like, I'm out. No, you were like, I'm going to quit nice in case I have to come back.
Correct. Oh, yeah. We still keep it cool. I still keep on my phone like, hey, what's up? Everybody good over there? All right, well. The company's still running? All right, cool.
Okay. You know someone just moved to LA when?
Oh, fool. When they dress like this, dog. Like, when they're trying hard to fit in here, dog. It's not a fashion show every day here, dog. You can just be yourself, just wear a t-shirt every once in a while, Alex. It's okay.
Bro, my wife hooks it up, bro. My wife is a stylist, but I appreciate it.
You look like the future, dog.
You know someone is from Toronto or Canada when?
When they're so nice, they're so kind, right? And you guys are just the nicest people, fool. Even the racists were nice. They're like, go back to your country, please. You're like, all right, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Last question, because you picked pupusas over tacos before. I have to ask you.
I take tacos over pupusas.
Sorry, tacos over pupusas. I have to give the Salvadorian side another chance to redeem. So I'm going to ask, Mexican horchata or Salvadorian horchata?
I'm gonna get once again Mexican.
Only come on, bro. I'm giving you a chance.
The salvia horchata is too sweet, bro.
Bro, it's amazing.
It's instant diabetes, dog. Mucha azúcar, way. La neta, way. And I don't like that much sugar, fool. Like you get a shock, fool, like insulin shock, fool. Just too sweet. That's the only problem with the salvia horchata. It's too sweet. I'll tell you that.
I'm,
All right?
I'm upset at this conversation.
I'm keeping it real, big dog. Keeping it real.
Thank you, bro.
Love you,
Appreciate
fool.
you, bro. Gracias,
Love you,
man.
man. Thanks for having me, folks.